At the very beginning, if the lack of a good engineer or a good mix is more noticeable than the lack of a good producer. Nowadays, getting a good mix and a good master is so inexpensive. Instead of just throwing out 15 songs one after the other, maybe get like your 3 favorites, mix and master the hell out of them so that they sound great. And then slowly see like one at a time where it takes you, rather than throwing 15 essentially demos out.
We've spoken to a lot of people who have used just those automatic mastering services online. I forget the names of them.
Don't do those.
Or they usually get their friend who is mixing and mastering this for you. Oh, we know a guy. Buddy. Yeah, he has all the equipment. Well, good for him.
Great.
He knows my sound. Cool. That's great.
That's like, get me, James, here's a hammer, here are some nails, and here's some wood. Build a house.
He's got
You've
the
got
equipment.
You've got the equipment. What more do you need? How about
I'll be fine.
I'll just learn how to build this on the fly and then here?
Well, don't forget, I want to build the house too.
He's my friend.
But when you're starting, there is a huge difference. I don't care if you go pay for a beat from Seth in the Kitchen. You rap over it and you release it without it being mastered properly. It's not doing anything at all. It does not matter. But you can go get a beat from your friend and get it mixed and mastered properly as a new artist, and it will do fine. It will do it better than a bad mix and master with Seth in the Kitchen, Definitely. Mantra, any Murder on the Beat, anyone else you want to talk, Scott Storch. It doesn't matter. For our audience, most of the people who are going to listen to this, I would say engineer pretty much every time. I don't think there's a single artist I've talked to that I've thought, you know what, this is mixed and mastered perfectly. Go get a different beat.
It's not like it's completely awful, but it's like, hey, this is like 85% of the way there in the mix. That little extra, paying the $150 is worth it.
For anyone who's still listening now, you can tell the difference in bigger artists when they don't work with their normal engineer. Not to always say DaBaby, but a good example is listening to Rockstar by DaBaby and then listening to Masterpiece by DaBaby. You can hear the difference. You can make, oh, that is what the difference is compared to someone just having an engineer compared to having an engineer that knows you and what you're doing. So like paying for one of the automatic services, great. You paid for it to be mixed and mastered. That doesn't matter if it's not done correctly.
Even a great engineer has to learn your sound and like work with you a time or 2 or 3 to like really kind of hone out who you are and what your sound is. Even if they're amazing, they're not just going to nail it out of the park on the first go in terms of, oh, wow, you nailed exactly how I want my voice to sound. Like the song will sound good, but maybe your voice will be tweaked here and there, but that just comes with the territory. Same with
and when
producer.
You first do it, you may want to find someone nearby you so you can go sit in the room with them. Experience what they're doing, because then later on when you do try someone else or your buddy wants to do it, you'll notice the difference between having the equipment and knowing how to use it.
And the thing that sold me on it was I thought I was a decent engineer, and like at the time I was okay. Like I wasn't terrible, but I was not like I couldn't do it professionally. But enough to like make what I was doing sound fine. I was spending like 10, 12 hours on a mix just because one, I was like, I enjoyed it. I liked listening to the songs, but like also I'm kind of don't know what I'm doing. So like, I'm like, oh, this might work. Nope. Yes, no, yes. And eventually I'm like, okay, this sounds all right. What sold me on it was these guys are way quicker. So I was like, even if at the end of the product is the same, if it only takes him 2 hours instead of me taking 10, like, and now I can spend 8 extra hours in the studio working on other things. They were way quicker and they were way better. James said, like, you should work hand in hand with your like producer or your engineer, like the first couple goes. But then if you are recording your own vocals at home and you're just sending them to your engineer, you can save a ton of money that way. And you don't necessarily need an amazing home studio. If it sounds decent, your great engineer can take that and make it work. Many people record in their fucking hotel room and then ship it to their engineer back at their label, and then they go boom, 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 done. You don't necessarily need to go, oh, we got to fly to LA and go to the studio. Nah, because the engineer can make it sound good as long as the initial quality is decent enough.